Right now, our kayak is more or less loosely held together with copper wires. It looks like a boat, but to hold everything together, we're going to apply epoxy fillets at the joints, just like this. We'll need some tools to apply the fillets. I use one straight plastic squeegee and another one that has a 2-inch radius cut in the end. For smaller epoxy fillets, such as around the bulkheads, a filleting tool with a 1/2-inch radius is ideal. Have these items ready and waiting before you mix glue. We're going to switch to a different mix of epoxy for the fillets. It's the same blend of resin and hardener, but this time we're going to use wood flour to thicken the epoxy. The wood flour, basically refined sawdust, gives us a thick peanut butter-like mix. We'll putty it into the seams of the boat to form our fillets. You're going to need quite a lot of mixed epoxy for this step, so it's useful to have a helper, like Carrie, to mix epoxy while you apply it to the boat. The catalyzed epoxy will get hot in the cup, so you want to get it into the boat quickly. What I do is to dollop the goop every few inches along the seam, like this. Once I've got enough glue in the boat, I spread it out with my filleting tool. Notice that I make one long, smooth sweep with a squeegee, and the finished epoxy fillet is clean and attractive. Okay, that's a pretty neat job of it, but we need to add some additional reinforcement in the form of fiberglass tape. This 3-inch glass tape is rolled out onto the fillets. Gently prod it into place with your hands. Then mix up some unthickened resin and hardener and brush it over the glass tape with a disposable brush. As long as you're getting epoxy all over the place, coat the entire interior of the boat. The cockpit area, where the paddler sits, is where you tend to have hull punctures because that's where the paddler's weight is concentrated. For this reason, we're going to add fiberglass cloth for extra reinforcement in the cockpit. This sheet of fabric has been pre-cut to fit between the bulkheads. Lay it into the cockpit, being careful not to disturb your nice fillets. With fiberglass spread all the way to the underside of the shear clamps, we can mix some more clear epoxy and wet out the glass with a brush. Well, that was a long step, and we'll let it dry for 24 hours. I'm going to let this fiberglass hang off the edge until it dries, then we'll trim it off with a razor. And since you've got all this time, you can try your hand at